Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Mr. KB. It is, what day is it today? September 12th, 2016. It is the official start of the 49ers football season, as you all know. I like to rep our team whenever the season starts, and for the most part, I've been pretty much silent since the season's been over. Our season was over in January. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that have been going on with the 49ers. I just want to talk about football for this video. If you guys would like to have a discussion or hear my opinions on what I think of the non-football things that are going on, drop a comment down below, and I'm more than willing to talk about said issues. The issues or that are non-football related are issues that I think as a minority I've dealt with and many other minorities in this country have dealt with. So if you guys want to hear that, then let me know in the comments down below. I can make a video regarding that and my position on how I feel some of the players are handling it on the 49ers side. But for this particular video, it's just going to be football. So they won. 1-0. I was here about the same time last year, and they won. And that season ended with the team that we beat going to the playoffs, shanking a ball left and losing in the playoffs, and the Niners finished 5-11. All in all, it was a solid performance by the defense. The defense, just like last year and the years previous, looked very strong. They looked very solid. It looks like they might have upgraded, or maybe not even upgraded, but been able to, how can I put this? Improve. That's the word I'm looking for. Improve their DB situation. The safeties have always been solid, but they've been very susceptible in the cornerback, defensive back positions. It looks like now they have a couple young people there and some cover guys to kind of take care of that. But yet, we're not really going to know because the Rams are not known for having good receivers currently. So next week, they play Carolina. I think that's going to be the first test for this defense, like the first real test. They were able to show that against teams that they should beat, and I'm going to put the Rams in that area of teams that they should beat. They can play really well. I know it's just one game, but it's a good showing on a team that they should beat. Carolina's going to be a different test. You got Cam Newton to worry about. They actually have receivers. They got a running back. They got a good line. Let's see what they can do there. Blaine Gabbert got the starting job. He did okay. I mean, he's not going to blow the socks off with these numbers. The numbers is 22 for 35, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, which I think dating back to when he started last year, this is his 9th straight game with at least 1 touchdown. So it's kind of good. There's some consistency there, and I like that the fact that he got 1 in this game. They wound up getting 2 rushing touchdowns. 2 of them coming from Carlos Hyde, and then 1 of them coming from Shane Stroud. And I mean, that's pretty much it. They actually won. Now, to kind of, for the bad part, and it's not really all that bad, they were up 14-0 at the half, and the third quarter came out, and they went flat. The entire third quarter, pretty much, up until the very end, they went flat. They were actually negative 5 yards for the entire third quarter, up until I think like a 16-yard pass to Patton that went for 16. And I think it was like plus 11 at that point, but I think they only got like 11 total yards in the third quarter, and that's something that even before Chip Kelly, the Niners had a problem with. And I don't know if Chip Kelly is going to be the coach to fix that, because the plays in the third quarter were pretty much run, pass, oh, it failed, punt. Run, pass, failed, punt. Run, short pass, those 2 failed. Medium pass, still short of the first down, punt. Run for loss, maybe a sack, punt. And that was pretty much the whole third quarter. Now, with a team that was no threat like the Rams, it's something you can actually get away with. But you can't do that against Carolina. You can't do that against Arizona. You can't do that against the Seattle Seahawks. Those are going to be teams, and more particularly with, what was I going to say? The stupid thing is asking me to upgrade. More particularly with Seattle and Arizona, those teams are super strong. You cannot go dead for a quarter on those teams unless you're hoping that that trend of you playing weak in the third quarter is something that's going to also be adapted by your opponents. You can't count on a team not scoring on you when you are going for -5 yards for pretty much an entire quarter. That's not going to happen. It's not going to win the division. It's not going to get this team to the playoffs. You cannot do that. And even though they've had this problem prior to Chip Kelly, and I made a video about this as well, the hiring of Chip Kelly doesn't seem like it's going to improve that. This is what happened with Chip Kelly in Philly. They got into strong starts. You know, they were up 17, 20, 12, whatever. And then the whole second half, they would go dead. Whether it's because they were trying to rush or because he tries to play safe. Whatever it is, if you want to go and look at all of Philly's games before he got fired, that's how they went. They blew big leads in the second half because they just couldn't hold anybody. And it led to him being dismissed in Philly. And I don't want that to be the case here, but this game, even though they won 28-0, still has me concerned that Chip Kelly is not the coach that the Niners needed. Now, the players can play, that's fine. But this team cannot go dead for any stretch in the second half like they've been doing. It's just something they couldn't do. Maybe under Harbaugh, when they had a top 3 defense, it's something you could do. It's something that you could play out of because the defense was that strong. This team, I'm going to say, just by looking at them, the way they played, if they can continue to play this way, and I believe I said this last year, and I believe I was correct, is a top 10 defense. The defense has been solid forever and ever. That's the one thing that has stayed consistent even with the bad teams. The defense has been pretty solid. This year looks like no exception. Top 10. On the offensive side, it's kind of hard to say with Gabbard only throwing for 170. Carlos Hyde had 88 yards, which is respectable. Again, 2 touchdowns. So they were able to make these plays. But a lot of these plays, or a lot of these scores, were also assisted by Rams penalties. The Rams played a sloppy game, which is something else that kind of plays to the benefit of the Niners in this game. And also, if they can keep it up, looks to kind of be something that Chip Kelly has been able to improve. The Niners actually went 3 quarters without even committing a single penalty. Clean football up until like maybe 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. No offensive, no offsides, no false starts, no delay of games, no holdings, no nothing. They were clean. So if that's something that they can consistently do, then maybe if they have lackluster second halves, just by playing clean football, they'll be able to muster out some wins. But again, you have to be hoping that your opponents are sloppy like the Rams were today to kind of put you in those positions to get the short fields, to get the short yardage that you need to kind of punch them in. I don't think you're going to get that from Arizona. I don't think you're going to get that from Seattle. I don't really think you're going to get that from any of the top teams that you need to defeat, not only in the regular season, but if you happen to make the playoffs, in the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, every mistake is more magnified. And the biggest mistake you can do is not score on your opponents. The top teams know how to go for the kill in the third quarter. And then the entire fourth quarter is straight garbage time. Up until maybe 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Rams kind of still had a shot at this. If they were able to kind of get something going and not play sloppy, they could have still been in this game. But they made more mistakes. The Niners compounded on those mistakes and made them pay for it, and therefore they got 2 extra scores, 28-0. So that's one thing. And I mean, this game was kind of like, I'm happy they won. They're 1-0, they're undefeated. But next week, I think is going to be where we'll see what team we actually have. And again, I know it's early in the season. It's only the second game in, but you have to be ready to play. And the next game is at Carolina. The game after that is playing against Seattle. I'm not sure where it's at, but you have Carolina, Seattle, and then it's a gimme with Dallas, and then you play Arizona. So the next 3 out of 4 games are going to be tests of what the Niners are as a team. And hopefully they can kind of just score or at least play more solid on the offensive end of the ball, particularly in the second half where they've been struggling for 4 years now. But yeah, there's not really much to say about the game. I'm still not sold on Chip Kelly being the genius that they claimed that he was going to be and everything like that. His last year in Philly kind of soured my mouth towards Chip Kelly. The third quarter kind of kept that taste in my mouth, so I'm not really sold on him. Blank right now, the defense is looking really good. The offensive line is looking solid. The receivers, I think I'm gonna be optimistic and hope that they can actually be threats. I mean, they do have Torrey Smith, who is a real good veteran to have. And Carlos Hyde, if this man can stay healthy, I mean, just seeing him play, it reminds me of a young Frank Gore. And I hope that he can stay healthy. I hope that he can bear the load for this team. If he can stay healthy, I think easily the Niners can win 10 games. Maybe get a wild card. Will it be enough to win the division? I don't know. Arizona is super strong. Arizona is really strong. I know they lost yesterday, but they played strong in that game. Seattle, they're always going to be strong. I mean, I despise that team so much, and Pete Carroll as well. But you know, I gotta face the facts. They are the number one team in the West. There's no other team right now that's been better than them, more consistently better than them. Even going to the years we had Harbaugh, they've just been consistent. They've been a really good team, and that's just how it's gonna remain. In Arizona, it's an up and comer. They're very hungry. They have good veteran leadership in Carson Palmer. They got a good stacked defense. They got great offense. It's gonna be tough. So I think that's it. Did I cover all the important parts? I think I did. Anyways, first vid, new season. The Niners won. Woo! And that's gonna be it. So again, this is Football Talk. If you guys want to hear me, talk about opinions on our football team that are outside of football, mostly social / political statements being made, by all means, hey, I love to discuss these things with you if we can keep it respectful. That's all, that's what it's all about. Another thing I want to bring up that's kind of outside of football, let's not get into any fights outside of Buffalo Wild Wings, peeps. Please, let's not jump our opponents' fans as they're leaving our stadium. Let's not act like a bunch of thugs. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it respectful. When we in the stadium, we talk shit. It's all fun and games. But we outside the stadium, we all people, man. It's all one world, one love. Let's stop the separation. Let's stop the hatred. Let's stop all the nonsense that leads to just more violence and self-fulfilling inequality. And let's learn to love each other and our differences, even if you root for Dallas, even if you root for the Rams, even if you root for the Raiders. Let's boo and cheer in the stadium, and let's party outside the stadium, baby. So with that being said, this is Mr. KB. I'm happy it's foosball season again, yeah! And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.